On March 27, 2026, a 35-year-old structural engineer and former rapper named Balen Shah took the oath of office to become Nepal's prime minister. His cabinet looks entirely different from the governments of the past. Over 30% of the newly elected parliament members are under the age of 30. The executive roster includes foreign-educated economists sitting right alongside a former DJ. For 36 years, Nepal's political system operated like a closed game of musical chairs. A small syndicate of establishment figures constantly traded the prime minister's seat back and forth, extracting wealth while the rest of the country stagnated. This chart reveals the massive cost of that stagnation. While domestic growth lagged, foreign remittances, money sent home by citizens working abroad, grew to make up nearly 30% of the entire national GDP. To fuel that number, more than 10,700 young Nepalis leave the country every single day in search of basic employment. Decades of this elite mismanagement hollowed out the country's workforce, but it also left behind a highly educated, globally connected youth population that was completely cut out of the political process, pushing domestic frustration to a boiling point. That boiling point hit when the old government tried to silence its growing number of young critics. Authorities issued a sweeping directive threatening to ban 26 major social media platforms. Losing their only outlet to voice their anger, young Nepalis poured offline and into the physical world. A massive mobilization flooded the streets of Kathmandu, turning a fight over internet access into a nationwide revolt against elite nepotism and deep-rooted corruption. Faced with thousands of angry citizens, then Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli authorized the use of lethal force against the crowds. Over the course of the unrest, 77 people were killed and thousands more were injured. The situation became so volatile that the government ordered the National Army to intervene, but the military command refused to fire on the protesters. Stripped of his enforcement power, Oli was forced to resign, triggering the formation of an interim government and emergency elections. The decision to shoot citizens in the streets permanently erased the old guard's remaining authority. The public rejected the establishment parties at the ballot box, opening the door for a brand new political coalition to take sweeping control. In the ensuing election, the newly formed National Independent Party, or RSP, won an absolute majority. Securing 182 seats, they captured the largest public mandate Nepal had seen since 1959, giving them the legislative power to rewrite the rules of governance. One of their very first targets was elite privilege. Instead of shutting down entire city blocks for a 50-car VIP motorcade, the new Home Minister banned political road closures entirely. Now, elected officials have to sit in the exact same gridlocked traffic as everyone else. They also passed a strict educational mandate. The children of all government officials and public servants are now legally required to attend public schools. If you want your kids to get a good education, you have to fix the state system first. They even mandated the removal of framed portraits of living politicians from state offices, erasing the physical markers of personality worship from the old regime. This practical approach extends to the bureaucracy through a digital-first governance plan. Agencies must deliver essential documents, like passports and driving licenses, directly to citizens' homes within 100 days, eliminating the need for bribes. The entire strategy revolves around a single forcing function. Politicians must experience the exact same public utilities, daily frustrations, and bureaucratic realities as the people they represent. For decades, the old political class operated on mutual protection. Opposing leaders consistently buried each other's scandals, ignoring massive financial crimes like the wide-body aircraft scam and the fake refugee fraud. To break that cycle, the new administration launched a high-level investigative committee. This timeline illustrates the scope of their audit, scanning backward from 2026 to 1990 to expose the hidden financial assets and money laundering trails of every major political figure from the last 3 decades. Just hours after Balen took his oath, police arrested former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli for his role in the 2025 protest deaths. To ensure investigations don't disappear, audit data feeds a public dashboard, allowing citizens to track criminal cases in real time. By arresting former heads of state and expunging their financial records, the new government is proving that real justice requires tearing down the elite syndicate completely and enforcing the law regardless of a person's title. With the old guard out of the way, the focus has shifted to reversing the youth exodus through aggressive economic re-engineering. This chart highlights the scale of their ambition, pushing Nepal's historical 4% growth rate up to 7% annually, with a hard target to double the national GDP to $100 billion within 7 years. To hit those numbers, the administration is heavily backing technology. They are projecting a massive new revenue stream driven by establishing a $30 billion IT export hub and aggressively issuing digital nomad visas. This hyper-practical, data-driven strategy actively avoids the religious and communal politics often used by neighboring democracies to distract voters from a lack of actual economic delivery. When these young protesters first took to the streets, the older political establishment and international media heavily mocked them, dismissing their demands as the irresponsible complaints of children who would only bring chaos. Instead, those protesters dismantled a corrupt system and built a highly functional one in its place. They have provided a working blueprint for modern governance, replacing political theatrics with strict deadlines, absolute accountability, and digital transparency.